Hey folks, welcome back to another video. Join me in the living room, which means it's going to be a chatty video, but I'm trying to keep it a bit short. I've been out working on a mountain leader training course this week. They're still out at the moment. They're out with Mike on the expedition phase of it, so it's a training, so that's 2 days. They're getting full value on this training week. They've had some pretty mixed weather. They'll be out doing night nav about now, and it is raining a bit, it's a bit drizzly, and it is pretty windy, so spare a thought for them. I'm quite happy with my lot on this one. So I've been out the rest of the week. You can see some rucksacks behind me. I've had a couple of new rucksacks that I've been using for the week. So I thought I'd kind of have a chat about them. It's not really a review. It's more a chat about what I want from a sort of a mountain pack. It's a tricky one, that, because a mountain pack has to like fulfill a lot of roles. ML stuff that I've been doing this week, and some days that's kind of more on the hill walking side, some days that's more on the steep ground stuff, so different kit to be carried. But I also want it to work for when I'm like guiding a scramble or teaching scrambling, so going up Canadian Arête and all those kind of things. I also want it to work for sort of longer mountain routes, maybe when I'm guiding Groove Arête, something like that. Has to work in the winter a bit for those kind of hill days, and climbing as well for that. So a mountain pack, it's a tricky job, isn't it? There's a lot of boxes for it to tick. So a perfect mountain rucksack, I'm not sure it exists really. Everything's a bit of a compromise. You can't have it all, can you? This one is pretty close though. This is my Patagonia Ascentionist, and I'm going to keep on using this for a bit longer. The padding's starting to go a little bit, so when I've got a bit of weight on it, it's not quite as comfortable as it once was, but it's wearing pretty well. It kind of sums up a lot of the points I want from this kind of mountain pack. It's lightweight. I think it's a fraction under 900 grams. The material, whilst lightweight, is pretty sturdy. I mean, I don't treat stuff with kid gloves. I expect it to kind of do its job and just get on with it. There's no holes in it, there's no tears in it, nut keys haven't been pushed through it, that kind of thing. Like I say, I'm not really that careful with kit. I like the fact it's pretty simple. There's no side pockets. I don't really like things like that. There's not a load of faff on the outside. I've taken the waist belt off. I like things like that. If you like a waist belt, great, you can keep it on, but I prefer with a light pack like this to just take it off. And I've done the same with the chest strap as well. Just put those in the box upstairs, never to be seen again realistically. So that saves a little bit of weight. The closure system on this one is interesting because I hated it at first. It's got a lid on it, which has got a good sized pocket for a map, your compass, head torch, snacks, that kind of stuff. I do like a lid. This lid is kind of all part of the same thing. It's not like a separate strap-on thing or anything. And when I first bought it, I didn't really like it because it was a bit. I found it a bit weird and a bit faffy. It's got this bit inside, and this enables you to extend it slightly. But actually, I never really used that. I could have cut that out long ago, but actually, with tucking it down there, it just doesn't get in the way. I don't even remember it's got it half the time. And then it just does up by pulling the drawstring, and that pulls the whole lid down. And then you just put your strap into there. I really like these buckles. They don't freeze up. They don't get full of snow. They're easy to close when you've got cold fingers. Sometimes really cold fingers, it's actually hard to pinch these normal buckles. So I do like that style. Size-wise is really good though. Firstly, because it's not got those side pockets, it's kind of narrow. So it's sort of a similar width to me, which means when I'm doing some scrambling stuff or climbing stuff, I'm not kind of getting, banging my rucksack into the rock and all that kind of thing. It's also, the right sort of litres. It's 35, this one, which is pretty much, for me, perfect. And some people will watch this and go, oh, that's a bit small, or the opposite, that's a bit big. But for me, 35 is about right for normal hill kit, plus some climbing kit sometimes, and importantly for me, my camera that's up there. Sony A65,000 is what I use, with normally a 16mm lens on it. It is quite bulky by the time it's in a case. It does take up a bit of room, so perhaps you might use a bit smaller, but for me that works. On to the two rucksacks I've been using this week. This is my favourite one. This is a Lowe Alpine Renegade 28. This is the first bit of Lowe Alpine kit I've owned since I was about 15, when I bought my last one. That was a Snow Peak 50. I went into Cotswold in Betws-y-Coed, which was where the rock bottom bit of it is now, counted out my savings from my pocket money, pound coins and 50p's and stuff onto the counter, and walked out with this proper Alpine pack. It was quality, lasted me years, it did. But that's the last bit of Lowe Alpine kit I've owned. Ever since that piece, it's all seemed really faffy and it just hasn't appealed at all to me. This thing though, I really like it. It's the right sort of size again at 28, but perhaps a bit too small, mostly because of the camera. I think if it wasn't for the camera, this would be pretty much spot on. Got your ISAC stuff, got your straps for like walking sticks like the Patagonia one has, or whatever else you want to use them for. On the back, removable waist belt, that's good, I've taken that off. Removable chest strap, that's gone too. These things unclip and you put that over and clip them back in, and your rope can go under those, so you can kind of carry it on your shoulders, between your shoulders and the pack, but it keeps it in place, so I kind of like that. Big handle, same as most of these kind of packs have. Decent sized lid pocket. Now the fabric on this one, it seems pretty tough, although I haven't, obviously abused it too much yet. It feels like it's going to take some abuse. It's supposed to keep some moisture out, but it's not waterproof. It doesn't claim to be. The seams aren't taped and all that kind of stuff, which makes me think it's a bit pointless having like waterproof zips on, because actually I have to pull that quite hard, and when you've got cold fingers and stuff, I just find that a bit of a faff. They might loosen up as they get a bit older. I just don't see the point of it really. But it's a good size, you can fit all your bits and pieces in there that you need to. And the interesting bit of this one that I really like is the fact that actually the lid unzips again with a waterproof zip, so you have to pull quite hard. I reckon these will go at some point. But it's a real nice way of doing it actually. So far, is my opinion anyway. You've got another couple of pockets, an internal pocket there, an internal pocket there, and a nice opening, a nice wide opening. It's really easy to get stuff in and out, and that is key. Imagine want to get the camera out because there's a rainbow, it's windy, so the rainbow will go any minute. Unzip, you're in, done. You don't have that kind of extendable nature that a lot of packs do, so perhaps that's a downside. But actually, I think this is going to be something I'll be using quite a lot. Big handle there, big handle there. Yeah, it's winning this one. It has won me over back to Lowe Alpine. Perhaps I'm going to use this one quite a lot. If only it was a touch bigger. Well, here's one that is a touch bigger. 30 to 40 litres. This is the Lowe Alpine Uprise. Now, very similar. You can't take the waist belt off. I'm going to cut it off because that annoys me not having it removable. You can take the chest strap off. I have. Same bits and pieces for the rope. And this is what lets it down for me. I really don't like this bit, and maybe I'm just being grumpy about it, but it just seems pointless. You've got one of these buckles I like, and I'm not even doing this on purpose. That took me 2 attempts to undo it there, but maybe that's more my failings. You can hook that in the same as with the other, so I kind of like that. But different to the Patagonia one that seems really easy to use, when you're actually out and about, it's actually, you have to give it some thought to getting it in the right spot when you've got your gloves on and everything, so not such a fan. And then you have to do the draw cord bit, which again is fine, pull the right bit. Again, that was my failings, not the bag. It's narrow in body, I like that, but it also ends up being kind of narrow to get into, and I don't like that, because actually getting the camera in and out has proved a bit of a pain this week, because I'm not in yet actually. You might think I am, but I'm not. You then get this bit out, and it's a roll top thing, like a waterproof dry sack would be, but as I've said, it's not a dry sack, so I don't really kind of get the point of it, if I'm honest. It does allow you to extend the pack. That's where you get an extra 10 litres, so you can do that, and with this bit you hook it right over the top to keep it closed up, and obviously put those bits together. Maybe that's a good thing, but I'm going to cut this out, because unlike an older rucksack I've got that's got a similar thing that doesn't get in the way, this fully gets in the way. I can't stand it. I watched a review of this from a trade show whereby you put all your stuff in there and you close that roll top bit, and then your wet gloves go on top when you're doing like Scottish winter, and then you close all this up and it stops, it keeps everything else getting wet, but it's just not waterproof, so don't buy into that, I'm afraid. That's a bit of a rubbish feature for me. There's a pocket hidden in here, again waterproof, you have to fattle it a little bit. It's pretty flippin' small. I have a map here somewhere. I use these kind of cut up laminated ones. You have to fold it that size to get it in, so that just gives you an idea of what it's like, and it's not particularly wide either, and then it's still got stuck on the zip there. Not a fan. Inside there is another pocket, but you have to get through all this battle of loose flappy fabric and get in there. And then this makes it really narrow, and I might have said that already a second ago. Honestly, it just does my head in how narrow it is to get in there. And there's another pocket inside, which is a similar size actually, not particularly great. You can take the back system out of both these Lowe Alpine ones, so you could lose a bit of weight that way. I'm a bit unconvinced by this one, to be honest, and it's all down to this faff of messy fabric up here. I don't really get it. I don't even know what this bit does really. I thought this was going to be for the rope, and maybe it kind of is for the rope, but then you've got these clips, so one of them is sort of superfluous really. It's not a lid. I'd rather just have if you're going to go to the faff of having this, have a proper lid with a proper pocket that I can actually use. Yeah, that it kind of ruins the pack for me actually, but maybe once I've cut that bit out, and I'm tempted to actually cut this, but I think it would just cause fraying and everything. So out of these two, that Renegade is the winner. It's just a shame it's not a bit bigger. I'll have to have a look. I'm not sure if they do bigger one of that or not, but there you go. You've probably got an idea of what I want from a pack there. You're not going to get the perfect one. We want it light but durable. Yeah, that's a problem already, isn't it? We want it, for me, I say we, I mean me, somewhere around the 30 to 35 litre mark. Narrow enough that it's not getting caught in chimneys, but not too narrow that it's a pain to get stuff in and out. Again, you know, I'm contradicting myself a little bit. I want to be able to take the waist belt off and stuff like that, just to strip it and neaten it back a bit and everything. I don't need it to be waterproof. It's a pointless thing for me. But I get if you are in an alpine type environment, just trying to keep snow and stuff off, maybe that's a bit different. Put in the comments below what your perfect pack is. I've tried loads of packs, Black Diamond things, Patagonia things, Lowe Alpine things, all sorts of stuff. But you know, I haven't tried everything, so comment below. Osprey will get some mentions. A lot of people like Osprey ones, and those Arc'teryx, I think they might be called FL somethings. They're a bit like the maybe a cross between the Patagonia and the Renegade thing. People love them for mountain use, nice and light, but again durable. So comment below if you've got your favourite and features that you like or don't like on a mountain pack. It's useful for other people who watch the video to look in the comments as well. I hope it's been of interest, and fire away with any questions. I'm happy to answer as best I can, as always. Find us on Insta, find us on Facebook, buy a Sling Mountain t-shirt. I should have worn one really, shouldn't I? Click the buy me a coffee link, all that jazz. It's all much appreciated. The support even has blown my mind, so thanks for all that. It's absolutely great. Hope you've enjoyed this video. More videos coming up very soon.